because a leader must help his country to rise.
A good leader
be able to relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trinbago, many times it does just boil down to race. They say that one side like African and the next prefer East Indian, but it's a way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Hear why? Because a leader must help his country to rise.
A good leader
be able to relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trinbago, many times it does just boil down to race. They say that one side like African and the next prefer East Indian, but it's a way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Hear why? Because a leader must help his country to rise.
A good leader
be able to
is just for you. My intention was to give you this letter when election was true, but since Dr. Rowley was stepping down, I figured I couldn't wait. I'm reading it now.
I'm reading it now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
I hear people say the PNM wasting the nation's time. I hear people say the UNC go scrape every last dime, and some couldn't choose between bad and worse, so I had to write this plea for the next leader of this country.
Cause we need to see
a nation full of success. We need a leader addicted to progress, someone who's not here for the money and always giving us transparency. A leader with a clear destination and a direction that we will see. Most respectfully, to whom this may be. Some people say bad politics slowing this nation down, and some people say implementation is where we does go wrong. But I say that they both are true, and that's what we need to see to fix our style of democracy. Some people say this moving world keeps on evolving, and some people say our infrastructure needs some upgrading. That's why I hope this letter you read for these issues to resolve, so sweetie auntie could start to evolve.
Cause we need to see
ministries that competent, information you'll get in 10 seconds, public servants who will answer the phone and give you advice with a pleasant tone. A bank run should take you the whole day. It's time we stop playing that war we was see.
that what we want to see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de. Ba 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 da. I used to play I was sheriff when I was a little boy, but when I see they arrested Earla, I'm glad my gun was just a toy. It reminds me there are few ways up and 1,000 ways to fall. Life's not just for one, but that goes for all. Many leaders in this land could be guilty or innocent, and it's hard for the people to truly know, so they will judge your intent. So before you walk in that big office, take a look at your character and have a long chat with Almighty Father.
Cause we need to see
Power without ego. Take a ride on the bus, let people know. Don't be too much on your high horse, but be confident whenever time calls. Careful how much your leaders put one pot. Them things have to stop. Thy war we was see.
that what we want to see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de. I'm sure by now you will notice this is written in the future tense, with hopes that you are a leader of great poise and great resilience, one who structures TNT with its local policies, not from global powers, but what the nation needs. I'm not going to lecture you on what's right and what is wrong, but I ask you based on the people's needs, keep your ears down on the ground. And don't be like Gillian Bishop and not care what the people think, cause you could still learn from the babes and sucklings.
Cause we need to see
TNT in the World Cup. Innovation from young people don't stop. A culture industry to hang the emblem high. So soca go stop trying to eat the pie. A leader who strike paying to criminals. That is critical. That what we was see.
that what we want to see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de.
Keep your family close.
Fall in, fall in, fall in. Oh yeah, fall in. Lord, family. Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, also uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. When let me hear you sing, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, es la vibra. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. How you used to build with them in the rain and get robbing down in the drain. And when you catch yourself on that strain, them on your back again and again. So much a mango tree you climb. With them you spend so much of your time. Instead of getting exposed to crime, still woman have a family line. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Vibes will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Family is the first ones that you call when times get rough and you take a fall. So when things nice and your money tall, then you should link with to have a ball. Or we should put the family first. About their wins we should always bounce. So when you take and your Christmas toast, just for the ones you love the most. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, everybody sing, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy.
Hi fam, it's your girl the Taki Lendo and I'm shooting my video for I Love right here in Parmin. Come up Parmin, Larry Lime. I like pastels, I like payme, I like black cake and fruit cake too. I like turkey, I like sweet bread, give me the sorrel and ginger beer. But I love Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us and we will overcome. I like shopping, I like baking, I like painting. It's looking good. just one thing. Do you love Jesus? Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. 'Cause I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. He didn't have to come for me. He didn't have to die for me. He didn't have to set me free. But I'm glad that he did. He did. He didn't have to come for me. He didn't have to come. He didn't have to die for me. He didn't have to die. He didn't have to set me free. But I'm glad that he did. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. You love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. 'Cause I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. Do you love him? Do you love him? Do you love him? Do you love him? I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus.
The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
You give your hand to me and let me say hello. And now in morning speak, my heart is beating so, and anyone can tell. You think you know me well, you don't know me.
Hey guys, I am Nigel O'Connor, a singer for all seasons. I am that voice that moves you for every occasion. I am that voice that celebrates life moments one note at a time. I am Nigel O'Connor. You can contact me at 783-0054 or 754-3154. And oh yes, that's me singing in the background.
Nowadays I'm not speaking songs.
I recall more than 3 decades ago, a senior telecommunications manager, let's call him Michael. And Michael was assigned to the task of presenting the government's position at a regional conference. Michael struggled and visibly trembled, especially since he presented after the retired North American ambassador, who had the audience in stitches, laughing up every word. I'm Dr. Madonna George. And I made a silent vow then to help people like Michael, who are technically competent, but who struggle and succumb to fear when speaking in public. Now, as a communications architect, I partner with organizations and individual leaders to transform their leadership presence, including the way they express themselves. So, if your goal is to amplify your authentic voice, influence others, and lead with confidence, join me from October 28th to November 11th for our Communicate with Confidence online course. To all the Michaels, it's possible to overcome fear, step fully into your role, and lead with confidence.
During our 3 weeks course, I gained a lot of knowledge and insight on how to communicate with confidence using the different techniques and skills taught. Another thing that resonated for me is the fact that the same way singers prepare their voice, increase their lung capacity by eating healthy, doing the necessary breathing exercises, is the same way someone who is going to present should also prepare their voice. For persons who are interested in participating in this course, I say go for it, because you too will be able to find your coping skills, or how the runners and they just psych up themselves when they're on the start line before they start to be focused to finish that race. You would be able to find your coping mechanism.
The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mix-up land that we call Trinbago, many times it does just relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head.
All right, good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening. It is 8:31 on the dot, and I am with you this evening until 11. So much is happening. I'm seeing where they have dissolved. The Tobago House of Assembly has been dissolved. So that means that Tobago is on a election footing. Tobagonians are going to the polls. Seeing where Ms. Sawyer Fat is saying that it's no longer it's not longer two parties, a three-party. So that's something that we're going to be looking at. I'm supposed to have Mr. Kelvon Morris with me this evening. With also, my father is already on the line, so I'm going to have him on in a short. All right, Papa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I ain't hearing you. What? Talk up now. Hello.
You hear me?
Well, you
Is
sound
that
like you're afraid to talk, so.
That's fine.
All right. So while he is preparing to come on there, I was saying to you guys that we have the Tobago House of Assembly elections coming up in a short. We also have I'm watching what's happening with this situation. These people embarrassing us, you know, boy. So we have Mr. Ralph Gonzalez, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, taking one of our junior ministers to court. Interesting. That's another interesting discussion. And the other thing I want to look at is seeing where the prisons and there are other unions who are saying that if you give PSA, public servants, 10%, you have to give us the 10 too, because we signed a memorandum agreement. So they are now looking at getting their just due. So those are some of the things that I want to talk about this evening. And as I said to you, I have Pastor Mackenzie with me. Good evening, sir. Hello?
Yes, hello. I'm here.
You're singing real far, Dad. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm hearing you very clear.
Yeah, but you're not coming across clear. You're not coming across. I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, are you hearing me now?
All right, just now, Talk to me here.
Yeah.
All right, I think that should be better.
All right.
Yeah, because I don't want your listeners and them to say that you're not hearing you properly now. I ain't taking no buffing. You know your people that's buff me.
I see any signal a little weak here, but
Yeah, I don't get a good position. The volume is low. Somebody is already saying that.
yeah, hello?
All right, let's see how that go there.
I hear an echo on the
All right. Talk
Yes,
to me.
are you hearing me?
Yeah, I hearing you. Talk to me.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Right. All right, so let's see how this go. Somebody saying no volume. Oh, let's serious. Okay, I don't know what's happening now. Somebody saying no volume. No volume.
No volume.
I think somebody's saying that.
Yeah, but you hear me, right?
I hearing you. I hearing you loud and clear. Loud
Yeah,
and
well,
clear.
then you're not supposed to hear. Yeah, the signal strength is a little better now.
Right. Let's see how we go there now. All right. I don't know what's just now. Huh? Let me see something here. Somebody say we are hearing him, and they say they're not hearing me.
Oh, they're hearing me, they're not hearing you.
All right. Hold on. Hold on.
Why the phone not taking charge?
Just now.
Yeah, I'll check the connection.
I don't know what's
I'm not seeing
happening
it.
here.
Mm-mm.
What's happening here? I hear that cricket loud, boy. I hear that cricket loud.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, yeah, that is because I'm outside. All right. Yeah, so well, we have some interesting topics to look at this afternoon. Well, this evening. Kelvin Morris from the Tobago House of Assembly. He's the PNM representative. He would be on air, so we'll be hearing all about the elections. I try to keep myself abreast of the politics in Tobago, but don't, I usually pay a lot of attention to it, but I think Tobagonians have generally made up their mind. I think it's clear now to everyone that Tobagonians aren't PNM. As far as I'm concerned, they were never PNM. Fadi Augustine, he has taken his stand with the United National Congress. In more ways than one, he was given a very generous budget, to which I think the people of Tobago are eternally grateful. And they did not suffer any losses as it relates to their European CPEP program. You know, so I think whatever elections Tobago has or holds, it is clear who would be the winner. Definitely Fadi. I don't think anybody stands a chance against him.
Okay. That.
How is everything with your listeners there? Are they hearing you?
I think they should be hearing me better now.
Yeah, sure. I'm hearing you very clearly. All right.
All right. So I'm asking, you all hearing me better now? I'm just checking with the viewers and the. Good evening, everyone. Are you all hearing me better? Just making sure that you guys are hearing me on the live. All right. So you guys let me know if you all are hearing me better on the live.
Stefan. What? Yeah.
All right. That cricket real loud, boy.
All right, we roll him out just.
Yeah, that cricket loud. All right, so I don't know if you are abreast on. Well, I hear your views on Tobago. I may have a different view. I heard Miss Sawyer Fat today, and Miss Sawyer Fat would have lent her voice. Right, would have lent her voice on lend her voice to the whole situation of what's going on. All right. She doesn't believe that Tobago is a two-party state. It doesn't mean that there's just two parties anymore. She believes that there's going to be a three-party run. That's one. Two, I heard you mention that Fali and they would have gotten the largest budget allocation. That's not true. I've heard economists. I've heard also Mr. Varnas James and all the others saying that.
I heard what Dr. Varnas James had to say about that. And the difference between what they received from this government and what they received under the PNM regime, I think that was, thank you, that was something Dr. Rowley had offered them. To me, it was so minuscule as to not be significant at all. You know, it's not like it was a difference of billions or hundreds of millions or even tens of millions, you know. But I know in the thinking of the Tobago House of Assembly, and Fali's thinking, he's a young man, and in the thinking of the 55,000 Tobagonians, I mean, Tobago has had 55,000 people for the past 100 years. This to them is the jackpot. All right, and I heard what Dr. Varnas James said about a budget that was offered that was probably 10 or 20 million more than this one. Yeah, it wasn't significant.
All right, I hear you. I don't know. I may have heard something different to you because I would have seen someone done the whole calculations. I don't know what I think that while you might say it minuscule, when we get Kelvon on too, because Kelvon and all will explain to you how they would have gotten more money under the PNM than what they are boasting about, what the UNC is boasting about. Because I also think that Kelvon and they would have shown the calculations of how Fali and they would have gotten more money under Dr. Rowley than what they are boasting that they got under the UNC right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
you see, and to me, that discussion is of very little significance, given the fact that for the two parties to square off and be arguing over who gave Tobago more. All right, well, we gave Tobago more, we gave them more. I mean, to me, that is a null and void. That is a non-issue, right? The fact remains that the PNM have to regroup. They have to get their act together. I mean, they have to come up with so much more than a nice budget offer, right? To win back their support and to build back their base in Tobago, so that in 2030 they could remove the UNC, because those two Tobago seats are critical to any PNM victory. PNM could win in Trinidad, but they need those two seats in Tobago. I mean, that has been the general trend. You know, so to argue as to we gave you all more and all of that, to me,
no, that was just by the way because of what you said, you know. Remember, you said that Tobagonians and Fali get through because he would have gotten more money from the UNC.
Right. That is. Yeah,
so, but that's not discussion. That's not Kelvin and their argument or discussion in Tobago. I've been watching they have been having some meetings with the people where they have changed their approach of campaigning from having big public meetings and stuff like that, and they're talking to the people than now having an approach where they are now asking the people to talk to them and ask them what are their plans, how they're going about doing things differently and stuff like that. So they have taken a different approach in how they are talking to Tobagonians and stuff like that. They're not talking to Tobagonians about how much money UNC get. give to Fali and whatever. They're not talking that. They're talking what the people are concerned about in different communities. Their whole approach to campaigning is not what Fali them doing. And from what I am watching and my observation to what I have been seeing in their approach, I think even people who may like Fali are going to those meetings and actually telling the PNM, hey, this approach, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Is the best approach that any political organization who wants to win back the people can take.
Yeah, I always believe that the underdog party, the party that has to claw its way back, into the minds of the goodwill of the citizens, that party has to get into the heads of the electorate and understand what they are thinking, what's going on in the mind of a Tobagonian as we speak. I have clients from Tobago. I have a lot of clients from Tobago, and every single time they come in my office or I interact with them, I ask them, how is the politics in Tobago? Every single one of them consistently, they've been singing the praises of Fali Augustine. And they say some things that are very interesting. I wonder what one of the things a Tobagonian client told me just day before yesterday. You see, Fali give us CPEP. And we still
Fali give them CPEP?
Only lose European CPEP.
Fali give them CPEP? That level of that level of ignorance is unbelievable. And wait, just now. But while I hear you saying that, Dad, I'll tell you something,
Yeah.
You see, the election and the election in Tobago, some Tobagonians may be telling you that, But the reality of it is that there are some Tobagonians who are watching and saying next minute this is a whole game where they only keep CPEP and URP here because they know we have an election to win, and when they done win the election, they get rid of it.
Do you want to hear some more views?
Go ahead.
Another client who lives on my street, he says that he is being persecuted in Tobago and he can't get certain things done. Right, his company's having problems with his companies. All right, he can't get certain contracts because he was properly well contracted under the PNM. And ever since the Fali came into power, they know he's a prominent campaigner for the PNM. He said he's having a hard time feeding his family. So he's claiming that there's a certain amount of political persecution of PNM supporters in Tobago. So there's all types of views. Right, you're going to hear some views, you'll wonder, well, what are these people thinking? So I would say to Kelvin Morris and those guys over there, get into the heads of the people. Get into the heads of the people. Don't make any sweeping generalizations. And understand what each of the 55,000 Tobagonians, well, you wouldn't know what everybody is thinking because I don't know how many people are eligible to vote out of the 55,000 people who reside in Tobago. But get into their heads and see where their heads are at and then take it from there. But right now, based on me interacting with my Tobagonian clients who come to me to do legal work, Fali is good. Fali is good. Fali can't do anything wrong. And he Fali, as far as they are concerned, saved the day with European CPEP.
Well, the campaign has started. He has dissolved the House of Assembly. So let's see how this go. Let's see how it goes. I don't believe that Fali will win.
Who will win?
I don't believe that Fali will win. Sorry, I based on what I've been seeing and hearing, I have always learned that general election and THA election, Tobagonians operate totally different.
Tobago is a different animal, They are different animals. So you believe the PNM would win?
Yeah, I believe that they will win.
Okay. I believe that Fali's party would take it. So we'll see.
But what have they done to take it though? Just because people singing the praises of Fali, meaning that Fali will win?
Mm-hmm. Not only that, just see, people are working. As far as some people are concerned, unemployment is like non-existent, right? Contractors, they are getting their due.
No, that's not true. Contractors in Tobago not getting their due.
Right, well, not all.
There are a lot of contractors in Tobago. One of the biggest issues that contractor or people in Tobago have is that contractors from Trinidad is who's coming over and doing all the work.
One of my clients is a contractor from Trinidad. Yeah. One of my clients is a contractor from Trinidad who has been living in Tobago for years. Right? And he is very well paid and rewarded for the work that he does over there. And there are Tobagonians who are upset about that. Right? Furthermore, he is not of African descent. So some people are even more upset about that. So a lot of that has been going on under Fari's administration. There have been a lot of complaints about that. And a lot of Afro-Tobagonians have complained to me that the Indo-Trinidadians are favored over the Afro-Tobagonians. You hear what I just said, right? The Indo-Trinidadian contractors are favored over the Afro-Tobagonian contractors under Fali. And that was not so under the PNL. So I don't know if that would be something that Kelvin Morris and his team could take to the electorate and see what they could do.
All right, well, in a short bit, I want to open up the phone lines and ask people who they feel will take it. That is a question I would like to hear from persons who are listening, especially there are some persons who are listening from Tobago. So I would like to hear. I would like to hear. I would really like to hear.
Is there a date set for the?
No, I didn't hear any date set. But
they have dissolved the THA.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we gonna see?
So what I think I would want to do is to take some calls and hear what's going on.
Yeah, let us hear from people from Tobago. Call and give us an idea as to what's happening over there. What is the thinking of the people? What is the temperature on the ground?
But it's going to be very sad if Fali does win, though.
Why are you saying it's going to be sad?
Because if CPEP if let me tell you something, and this is something that I'm totally confused about, and somebody was asking about the if there is a legal ramifications to this, because if CPEP as a company in Trinidad has been dissolved, right? It's dissolved. It has gone into foreclosure, whatever. But it's still functioning in Tobago. Is something isn't right about that?
Yeah, but something is right about that. Unless the registration of CPAP in Tobago took place under different terms and conditions. There may be a CPAP Trinidad, CPAP Tobago. I don't know how the company is registered in Tobago so that it could still function in Tobago, but it is no longer.
But isn't it amazing that nobody's asking for that clarity?
Right, yeah, that's a good a good.
You're going and coming.
observation.
You're going and coming though.
Yes, I'm saying that's a good observation. You know that people are not, but I think I think they are being sued.
They are
Right,
they
I
are
think,
sued. They are being sued by former Prime Minister Young. His
Right.
his firm has taken them to court, the state to court. But I must ask him that question. I will ask him that question. I am going to
Yeah,
ask
so
because that doesn't sound right. Because the but even URP too, the government has dissolved the URP. How come URP still operates and function? Because URP is a government, a state entity. How can it be operating in a sister island but not operating from the nah, something is wrong there.
no, you are saying that the companies have been dissolved. That is what you are saying. That URP has been dissolved and CPEP has been dissolved. Is there any paperwork to show that?
But the minister said it. The minister said it in the budget. In the budget,
Did he say that it will be dissolved?
he said that CPEP and yeah, nah, man. The minister he said that CPEP. I'm gonna find the clip. I'm gonna find the clip. I have to find the clip, but I know that the minister said that CPEP is no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's no more. If CPEP is no more,
It's no more. It's no more in Trinidad.
yeah, but how could be no more in Trinidad, but still functioning in Tobago?
Yeah, well, that is a proper question, right? And we will have to see how that plays out in the court. Unless the program may be running, but not necessarily in the name of CPEP.
No, it's not. There's nothing. No, there's nothing like that. If you drive all over Trinidad, you will observe that places that would have been upkept by CPEP, it is in shambles.
Inside by me, right inside here, our park is in a mess. You know, my yard, right? The periphery of my yard, my neighbor's yard isn't looking too good at all inside by me in Dabadi O'Mara is a hot mess. All right, and we miss CPEP. It's only now people realizing the work they were doing. And even the sanitary collection agencies, they are operating differently, right? They would come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in here, and they would be sharp every morning, 6 o'clock. They would come in, and then they come in at all types of times. Now we have I don't want to say the rubbish truck, but you know, the rubbish truck come in here 10 o'clock in the day. They're missing some days. And I've noticed something ever since the UNC have assumed power. That the county, all right, so I'm with the Tunapuna Piaco Regional Corporation. I live in Dabadi O'Mara, so we're under their purview. These guys asking for money. That wasn't happening under the PNM, big man. We'll be picking up the rubbish. The rubbish man asked me for money last week.
That is because HDC and I could talk for HDC contractors. HDC contractors the contractors who collect garbage, they have not been paid. Some of them haven't been paid for close to 2 years. Some haven't been paid for 6 months.
So what you're saying is that began under the PNM then?
There are some of them who haven't been paid. Well, you see, some of them who haven't been paid for the 6 months is not the PNM, and that's the majority of the garbage collection.
Okay.
Because no, well, the 2 years it have the 2 years. It have the 2 years because there are some of them. There are contractors who will tell you that they haven't gotten their money because there are some of them who do work for HEC like LSA build startup homes and stuff like that and haven't been paid.
And that is under Kamla.
No, under PNM, because PNM, UNC ain't build no startup homes for nobody yet.
Right. Yeah, but what I'm saying, up until the PNM conceded lost to the UNC, I never once, and I've been living in here over 20 years, had an instance where a garbage collection driver of a truck asked me for money. But it's not just them. The guys who would come in here pick up the little overgrown trees and shrubs and all of that you cut and you leave on the side of your home. A lot of people do that now. It's Christmas time, you know. I did some work myself. You know, big man, where have for we? Where have for we? 100, you know, half a white oak, you know, right through. And when I talk to the neighbors, they're hustling. You know, so if you are saying that they're not being paid, that probably shed some light on it, and they're depending on the people to make a living.
Yeah.
I don't know, things probably much harder than we are aware. And I asked a good friend there, and he was a sworn UNC man. He was UNC Kamla. For him, Kamla was God. Kamla can't do anything wrong. Now he's 100% against Kamla. And I asked him, well, why did he change? And I asked him if a general election is called now, who will win? He said the PNM will take it.
Why?
Well, he believes that not only has the UNC not delivered, they have taken so much from the people. They gave this budget that was a give and take budget. The people are much worse off. And it appears as though Dr. Dindial is playing Felicia Thomas for a fool.
Dr. Dindial?
He is out of the country. Do I have his name right?
Who? The permanent, the
CPO guy, yeah.
Why you say he's playing her for a fool?
He's out of the country, I think, conveniently.
No.
Remember.
All right, go ahead. When you finish, I will explain to you, because I don't know if you really abreast with what's going on in the news. He is out of the country on government business. The minister told Felicia that.
Yeah, you believe that?
What? That the minister told Felicia that?
No. Yes, I know he told her that, but do you believe he's really out of the country on government business?
But that's what the minister said.
Well, but do you believe it?
Yes. But then, let me ask you this. But then,
said if you swallow a banana, can you see it? You know?
Yeah, but listen to this.
I know.
All right, but listen to this. Do that. All right. So, okay, you have an acting CPO. So, are you saying that the acting CPO cannot meet with Felicia? Why the acting CPO can meet with Felicia?
The acting CPO cannot meet with Felicia unless he has some clear directive. That is a very,
and he got the clear directive from the minister.
All right. So, what is the problem with the minister saying he's out of the country and the meeting can't happen? And now I'm hearing that the minister, not no acting person, the minister is saying he communicated to somebody that there are certain prerequisites, there are certain criteria that need to be met, you know, before the meeting takes place, right? So, and then Felicia Thomas, if my memory serves me well, I don't have the article in front of me, but I read it today. Felicia Thomas said that something isn't right, something isn't sitting right. If I'm to quote what she said from my memory, something isn't sitting right. Meaning, this meeting was supposed to happen. It hasn't happened. The people who I'm supposed to meet with, they are hemming and hawing, and they are saying all types of things. They're making all types of excuses. And this money should be paid before Christmas.
No, and who said that money should be paid before Christmas?
I think it's Ms. Thomas who said that.
She made a promise. She made a promise to her people that they go get the money before. The minister never told her that.
The minister never told that.
So she made that promise.
Right, so remember the last time I was on air, I was saying Felicia.
You're breaking up. You're going and coming. You're going and coming. You're going and coming.
All right. You remember the last time I was on the air, I was saying to Felicia to calm down and to pat down and to take her time and stop making these gratuitous promises to people. And I think it's not looking good for Felicia Thomas. It's not looking good for the PSA. And I think Ansel Roger came out and made a statement that I think may have angered the PM. I can't remember exactly what is it. He took a stand on some issue.
He took a stand on zone of peace. Not with Felicia them. Right, not with Felicia. But let me stay with Felicia them.
No. I'm aware that is not Felicia. But
right.
He took a stand on the zone of peace.
Right.
And I think the Prime Minister responded to it, and her response was not a happy one. But
he still but the next day that you talking thing there that irrelevant to know, because the next day Ansel Roger said that she's the best prime minister this country ever had.
Yeah, but how we could do that? How we could do
what?
How he could say make us take a stand in support of the zone of peace.
Right.
When she took a stand against the zone of peace and the next day call her the best prime minister.
Well, that's how them are. That's how they are.
Alright, okay. Alright. So that isn't good.
That's good.
That isn't good.
That is good.
Alright. Okay. It isn't good.
For who?
The whole political context. But from the PNM point of view, I think it represents fractures are beginning to show.
No fraction.
You think that?
It's a no fraction. Them in love. Nothing gonna happen. I don't want nothing to happen. I want them to stay in love. I don't want nothing to happen between them. Let them stay in love. Please.
You don't want them to
I don't want them to mash up. No.
Why?
Prime Minister.
Why?
Because if them fight, when elephants fight, what does happen? Who does get hurt?
Mm-hmm.
The grass.
Oh, within that context.
Yeah, let them stay in love. People don't suffering out here.
Right. So tonight, I think I was right out here and live with the fellas, and I was saying here some people are praying for the government to fail, but I think the country is so fragile now. Nobody should really be wishing for the worst for the country, because if you wish for the worst for the country now, it would be like that for the next 5 years. People who 25 would be 30. People who 30 would be 35. People who 40 would be 45. People who 55 would be 60. People who 60 would be 65. So you can't say, well, I want Kamala to fail because I want PNM to win, you know? And there are some PNM people who are going around and saying it's good for them who vote for them. It's good.
I don't say that. Well, I don't say it's good for them. I just remind them when they're complaining, but you voted for this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say it's good. I don't say it's good for you. But what I say is, you voted for this. Why complain now?
Yes, but that is not true. It is not true that the PNM people who voted for the UNC did not vote for the death of CPAP URP and the forestation program. They didn't vote for that.
What they vote for?
They didn't expect that.
But they voted.
They didn't expect that.
Yeah, but that they voted for everybody to win, and that is part of winning. Remember, on the political hustings, the UNC did say that that CPEP and URP Is it have gangs?
Did she say she was firing 30,000?
But she didn't have to say that. Who will say that and expect to win an election?
No. All right, okay. So the people did not vote for the firing of 30,000 CPEP and URP workers. They did not vote for that. They heard that she said they have gangs. We hearing that they have gangs for the past 200 years. Ever since Big Bird was a hummingbird, we hearing that. Right? But they did not vote for what she did. Because she did not say that.
Go ahead.
They did not vote for what she actually did. Remember, before when Dr. Rowley was campaigning, he was saying Petrotrin will remain open. You remember that?
Yes.
Remember he said, read my lips, I will not close Petrotrin?
Yes.
God, what did he do?
What did he do? Don't tell me you are one of the persons who's saying that he closed down the Petrotrin, you know.
No. I never said that.
What did he do?
But what happened?
He restructured Petrotrin.
Okay then. Oh Lord, this political gerrymandering and gymnastics.
That is okay, but the reality of it is that he restructured it just like how they restructured.
Well, I guess Kamala restructured CPEP.
How she restructured it? You seeing anybody cutting grass?
I think didn't they maintain some? They have some grass cutting element, I think.
No, it have no grass. It have no grass cutting element. No way. But we have two companies. We have Paria and we have I forget the other one, and they are profitable. They are profitable companies, and on top of that, they are paying the debt that Petrotrin left. So even though you're saying he closed down Petrotrin, the debt of Petrotrin that we still have to pay in dissolve, you know.
Yeah, and that is not a bit of money.
Okay, and Paria and I forget the other company is paying that debt.
All right, so politicians use words. They manipulate language, right, in order to win the favor of the people. And they, more than anyone else, would be aware of the realities on the ground. Right? People may have a general idea. The politicians know exactly what needs to be done. And so they use words to manipulate the people. Now, Dr. Rowley never said when he was on Hustings that he's restructuring Petrotrin. Let's be real here. He never said he's restructuring Petrotrin. He may have mentioned some restructuring. He said it will not close down. He got into office, and as far as the people are concerned, it's closed down. But he's saying it's a restructuring. In the same way, Kamala said, CPEP, they have gangs and all of that, right? But the CPEP workers and contractors did not have any idea that when she did get into power, she was going to do what she did. So there was a gross misinterpretation, unfortunately, of what was said on the Hustings and what actually happened in reality, and I think that is politics. These politicians have in mind what they're going to do anyway. Right? But in order to win the favor of the people, they say things that the people would like to hear, and when they get into power, they do a hatchet job. And then we try to rely on words and, half-truths and innuendos, and it was not closing down, it was a restructuring and all of that. But the fact is that the people out of a job. Somebody was telling me about a husband and wife team who have CPEP companies, a CPEP company or whatever, and they hire a lot of people. And they were like, UNC is the code, yellow is the code, yellow is the code before the elections. And when the whole CPEP thing was shut down, they were like, very silent. Who's selling in a gas station now? Nobody not saying anything, but bitter like gold. And they're saying if a general election, who now they put the PNM back into power? Because
them put in nobody know.
So that's what they're saying.
Them people don't need talk. Don't need talk. I want to play some clips. I'm trying to get onto Kelvin, but like Kelvin, because of what happened today, I feel he in meeting. I feel in a meeting because I only seeing one tick.
Political strategy.
Yeah, but he did say to me that tonight he would have joined me. All right, so I want to play some clips of some things that happened today. Who I want to play first? Who is this here? Oh, so I want to play Fali. For those of you who don't know, the Tobago House of Assembly elections has been not been announced, but the Tobago House of Assembly has been dissolved. Assemblyman Fali has dissolved. So take a listen to this tune and Tobago and by extension the world, those of you who locked on to Constructive Talk. Let's listen to this.
Well, the Tobago House of Assembly has been dissolved, paving the way for the THA elections. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine moved the motion to dissolve the House during today's plenary sitting, but did not announce an election date. Under Section 22(2) of the THA Act, an election must be held no earlier than 2 months before the dissolution and no more later than 3 months after the Assembly's dissolution. Augustine said he was confident that dissolution would signal a renewal of his party at the polls. He said he wants history to record he served faithfully and fearlessly. Well, discussions on a CARICOM impacts firearms.
All right. Did you hear it?
The clip, no.
You didn't hear the clip?
No.
All right. I don't know. Let me see if I can play it over again. All right, so I'm going to play the clip again.
Well, the Tobago House of Assembly has been dissolved, paving the way for the THA elections. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine moved the motion to dissolve the House during today's plenary sitting, but did not announce an election date. Under Section 22(2) of the THA Act, an election must be held no earlier than 2 months before the dissolution and no more later than 3 months after the Assembly's dissolution. Augustine said he was confident that dissolution would signal a renewal of his party at the polls. He said he wants history to record he served faithfully and fearlessly. Well, discussions on a CARICOM impact firearms.
Yes, I heard it.
Right. So that is Fali dissolving the Tobago House of Assembly. There's another clip I wanted to play. Where is it? I think this is the clip I want to play. So I think you all need to listen to this clip. We were talking about Felicia a while ago. We have our own issues on Constructive Talk with Felicia. So take a listen to this.
Offer to other public sector workers, including those on the Public Services Association. The union agreed to a 4% wage increase which covered the period 2014 to 2019. And Mr. Prentice said his union also negotiated a market rate clause to ensure workers would not be left behind in future settlements.
The period that we got 4%, I signed in that agreement. Anybody get more than 4, we have to get the balance. That was on my document that I signed. So if they give them 5% in the first year and 5 in the first period, 5 in the second period, which would bring it at 10%, they will be now owing us 6%. 3 in the first and 3 in the second.
Prison Officers Association President Gerard Gordon said his organization is also preparing for negotiations covering the 2020 to 2022 and 2023 to 2025 periods. He said the association wants to avoid long delays that have historically plagued wage talks.
In the period within which it happened, but for the subsequent period,
we got the additional 4% adjustment to salaries before they give whatever percentile increase we would have gotten. We are expecting the same, which means that we will have a 6% adjustment.
Tutors signed a memorandum of agreement on April 18, 2025 for the 2020-2023 period. Although the settlement must still be ratified by Cabinet, they indicated that while it accepted a 5% offer for the 2020 to 2023 spread at 1%, 1% and 3%, it nevertheless reserved the right to revisit the matter if other unions are awarded higher increases. The union said they are awaiting for government to finalize the settlement and urged that all bargaining units be treated equitably. Otto Carrington, CNC3 News.
So clearly something is bubbling in this country, eh? Something is boiling up. Because you hear what the prisons are saying, that, hey, we sign a memorandum saying that if only give anybody more than 4% or 5%, you have to adjust hours.
Right.
Teachers are saying that the principal thing to do is that if you give a man 10, you have to give me 10 too. So let's just think about it. Imagine what will happen if teachers decide only give me the 10. Well, we ain't teaching. What the government gonna find that money?
Well, where is the government going to find the money to even give the public servants the 10% in the first place? All right, it's like your mom slicing up the Christmas cake, and you get a small slice, and next thing you see your brother pass with a huge slice of cake, and you want to know, well, boy, mommy give you all of that? I going back and ask mommy for more because she give you so much more than what she gave me. I mean, that is a classic, typical mentality that I think the government should have expected from the other institutions.
Right.
And they would have kicked up against it. And you are saying where would they get the money? The teachers decide we want, and the prisons decide we want more. But my question is, where are they finding that money? Now, I'm hearing Dr. Munilal. I'm just remembering excerpts from what I read today. I do not have the papers in front of me. But he is saying that production is something like some 5%. Yes, you know what I'm speaking about. All right, with oil production or whatever. And he's painting a very optimistic picture and future. But Trinidad and Tobago as though, well, we're coming into money, don't panic. You know, I'm wondering again, right? Everybody is promising, and then the government came with this very, very ambitious plan to revitalize Port of Spain. I mean, the whole gentrification of sea lots area, developing 100 acres in sea lots area. I mean, these things cost money. If you're going to gentrify sea lots and put a 100-acre industrial plant in sea lots, right? And you go in and develop the whole of Port of Spain, going down there on the foreshore, stretching for, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of acres. And I'm seeing some buildings they're showing there where they'll have these towers, and Port of Spain will be looking like New York City or any one of these top cities in Paris, France, or in England or whatever. And those are your plans, together with paying public servants 10%. All right, together with creating 20,000 and 30,000 jobs for the people. You hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where was the money coming from?
The money coming from the history.
So maybe the Prime Minister has a treasure chest somewhere. Maybe she's aware of some source of funds that we in the country aren't aware of. Because they just keep bringing these huge, big money plans. And we are saying, like, where this thing coming from? The dragon gas ain't even started to flow yet. Right? We still have a little loggerheads with Venezuela. We have to try and make back friend, as the school children say, we have to make back friend with Venezuela really fast. All right, and hope we can get in their good favors to get that gas running. All right, so that we could start to realize some serious profit. You know, but where are we going to get this from? Because remember, this budget was pegged on a future of $73, right? On an oil price of $73. And we peg our oil prices on the West Texas Intermediate and on Brent crude. We usually go with the West Texas Intermediate. And they are saying for the 26-27 period, oil will be $53. All right? The war with Ukraine have kind of balanced out things. It looks as though Donald Trump is rethinking launching strikes on Venezuelan soil, which would have sent oil prices up. Gaza and Israel have come to some kind of truce. So there's no ongoing major war to really shoot oil prices up. So it looks as though the 53 was a good way to go, but our budget is not pegged on a $53 US per barrel oil price. It's $73. And one of the things Colm said in his response to the budget, he said that was deliberately done by Mr. Tanku. You peg it high, and when you run out of money, you go to the consolidation fund. And they started dipping to the savings. So we're going to see if all these grand promises, that revitalization of Port of Spain that I'm seeing the Prime Minister talking about there, and building a 100-acre industrial estate in Sealats. And I think they had some kind of meeting with the people in Sealats, or whatever. You know, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, probably billions.
Yep. Yeah.
Where is that going to come from? We have 65,000 public servants.
That coming from that coming from our pocket. That coming from they going to tax only who like to smoke, drink, only who like to run woman. You go tax only.
But remember, the Mr. Tanko gave some kind of projection as to how much they're going to make from these taxes. 290 million one way, 690 million the other way. And when I added it up, it was just about 1.2 billion and all. So and I think you might be right, you know, because I told a good friend of mine, I say the 0.25%, okay, we have the landlord tax, which is technically a property tax. We have the tax on alcohol and tobacco, right? We have the taxes on the banks and the insurance companies and their assets, right? Which is at 0.25% tax. These are annual taxes. And that would yield about 1.25 billion. But then, that's not enough. That is not enough to properly handle public servants. So I told my friend, I believe next year we're going to get some new taxes. The 0.25% might go up to probably 0.75%. You know, the taxes on alcohol might go up 100, 200%. Because that's the only way I can see, in my humble opinion, where this money is coming from. Unless that dragon gas starts to flow. And by the way, Mr. Dragon Gas, once properly negotiated, would take about 4 years proper. I mean, the best gurus are saying about 4 proper years before we start to see that money in our treasury. The government has 5 years. How long has Kamala been in power?
6 months.
6 months. Right? And right now, we're not on good terms with Venezuela. We have to renegotiate our committee with Venezuela and get back on good terms with Mr. Maduro. That could take months or years. Because if we decide to act the fool on this and say, well, you all weren't nice to us, you all supported the U.S., you supported the killing of our citizens, and we don't want to hear anything about any dragon gas deal, and he holds that position for the next 2 to 3 years. Kamala has 2 years. She becomes a lame duck prime minister. Nothing happens with dragon gas. And she just put taxes on the people, a burden that the people can't bear.
But what about... Yeah, I hear you. Let's see how that go. Let's see
how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
And let us test the temperature in Tobago, and maybe we can use it. You see how Zoran Mamdani won in New York? And that is being used as a yardstick to see how the midterms will go for Trump next year. Maybe whatever transpires in Tobago could be used as a yardstick as to the thinking of the people.
Nah,
So we will see.
that can't work. I don't agree to that.
No, you say PNM.
Let me tell you why I can't agree to that. Remember, now, if we're using that yardstick, then you're going to be judging Penny on that. And Ms. Beckles doesn't have anything to do with that Tobago elections. Tobago have their own political leader. So you can't say well X, Y, and Z because there are people who want to do that, but you have to remember that Tobago have their own political leader. I forget his name now, and he is the one who running the show over there.
Yeah, well, I'm fairly understand. But
no, I'm talking about the PNM arm of Tobago has their political leader.
Okay, yeah.
So you can't look at that.
Tobago has a unique.
You can't use
political identity. I believe in some.
Ansel Dennis, somebody sent it to me there. Ansel Dennis is the political leader of the Tobago arm, not Ms. Beckles who say it.
No. No, but don't you believe that if the Tobago PNM get that together and the Trinidad PNM sees that they would say, well, look, even Tobagonian PNM, because usually, you see, the history has shown that when Tobagonians go PNM, it's because they have some bad falling out with whoever. They will never traditionally PNM. A lot of people have argued that point. But Tobagonians will never really PNM. They will always DAC or whatever Robbie party was, or some other thing. They never really PNM. They just conveniently swing to PNM when it suits their fancy. But at least when they go red, Trinidad tends to go red too. And we win in Trinidad with the 2 seats in Tobago. And I was mentioning to somebody that I believe overall and generally the whole idea of this 2-party thing, PNM, UNC or whatever, I think we are evolving in our politics, you know. I think the days of the die-hard, I born a PNM, I'll die a PNM, I think those days are generally over, you know. And I think it's generally over too with the UNC. The UNC is no longer, I would say, a Hindu party as it used to be.
Nah.
That
is not true.
No. But some people believe that the East Indians, they vote for the UNC whether or not. And they don't have those divisions among them as black people. It's we who divide ourselves, and we have PNM black people in Trinidad, and we have Tobago PNM who don't like the PNM Trinidadians and all that. But the Indians are one. But there are many East Indians who would disagree with that. And the Cameroon has chosen a lot of Africans, and as you rightly said, the UNC need the Africans to win. You know, so I believe we evolving politically, and generally we are coming around to a place where if the people don't get what they want, they'll put the other alternative party in the power.
All right, there's another trending story in the public domain. I wonder if this is it here. There's another trending story in the public domain. I want to deal with that story. What story is that? That is the story with Ralph Gonsalves, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Mr. Anil Roberts, Senator Anil Roberts, having an issue with Mr. Ralph Gonsalves. And there's a talk that Anil is doing this to deflect people from the Mark Bassant story that is showing the issues and the corruption that came out under Lifesport. All right.
Yeah, but that is my view. I posted that this afternoon on my Facebook page. That and my words were that just keep focus. It's like the Epstein file. It's like the Epstein file. Trump is constantly trying to deflect attention away from the fact that now that the Democrats have won a seat in Arizona and the shutdown is over, they have the extra vote now to have the Epstein files released. All right, and I think 2 emails were released today where Epstein said in 2 separate emails that Trump knew exactly what was going on there, and he's also aware of the age of the girls. You know, so I think in that sense that given that Mark Bassant is running this investigative journalistic story in the Express, which I avidly read on Sunday gone, all right, he's a bit nervous. And even though he was acquitted by a judge, I can't remember her name now, all right, of any wrongdoing in a particular aspect of the Lifesport program, right? I think there are other aspects of it where his name will be called, and he's just trying to deflect attention because the Dr. Ralph Gonzalez issues are an issue. The man has always traditionally married Trinidadians. The man said the best woman in the world is Trinidadians. He's a Vincentian. I think his 2 wives were Trinidadian. I think his present wife is a Trinidadian. His children were born here, and so they had a right to apply to HDC, and they applied, and they got their house. And whatever it is that Anna Roberts said, I read it today. Dr. Gonzalez may have taken it to his attorneys, and there may be some defamatory statements made there, you know.
So I want to play the news article. I want to play the story from on CNC3. All right? Mm-hmm. Let's hear what they have to say.
Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, is seeking legal advice against Minister Arnold Roberts, and he believes this country's Prime Minister knows the right thing to do in this circumstance. Minister Roberts accused Gonzalez of benefiting from political favors with his family's purchase of several Victoria Keys properties in Diego Martin. He also questioned their asset declarations. Well, Gonzalez dismissed the claims, saying his family was eligible and the units were open market, not low income. And now the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister is examining his legal options.
I've referred certain matters to my lawyers who are in Trinidad, to a senior counsel. I wouldn't name the senior counsel yet. There's a bundle of issues, legal issues which arise, those which touch upon the question of defamation, and those which touch upon breach of constitutional rights include.
Meanwhile, former Housing Minister Randall Mitchell believes Minister Arnold Roberts may have breached the Integrity in Public Life Act.
Minister Arnold Roberts may have run afoul of the law by breaching Section 28 of the Integrity in Public Life Act, which provides for confidentiality by persons in public life. And ministers of government are persons in public life.
CNC3 News attempted to speak with Minister Arnold Roberts and Housing Minister David Lee. However, they did not respond to our questions.
But we did get a response from Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who says Dr. Gonzalez is free to pursue legal action. However, she adds there's an investigation underway into the acquisition of one of his daughter's Victoria Keys unit. Persad-Bissessar also says Minister Roberts raised a legitimate concern. She says the rent-to-own arrangement for one of the luxury apartments at Victoria Keys that was entered into on April 30th, 2025, was rushed through 2 days after the general election before her government was sworn in. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says she has no interest in any retribution against Dr. Gonzalez, as his opinions have never had any effect on her decision-making. Meanwhile, Senator David Naked put out his own video today where he warned the PNM and CARICOM leaders against attacking the UNC's political leader.
In an address to UE back in October, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez described TNT's backing of the U.S. strikes as misguided. However, Naked said this country's policy is none of his business.
Ralph Gonzalez or Mia Motley, whoever in the CARICOM area feel that they could support the PNM, come differently. This UNC, very different.
However, Prime Minister Gonzalez said he still takes issue with Kamal Prasad Bisesa, saying that CARICOM is not a zone of peace.
Dr. Gonzalez said there is no war between CARICOM states and therefore it is a peaceful zone. Responding to Naked, he urged the senator to be careful when speaking.
If he has in his sights Ralph and Mia, I would say that most Caribbean people will say that he should be more circumspect.
Gonzalez sought to remind CNC3 News that he is the longest-serving prime minister in the region's history, and ever so often someone comes along and says something that they may regret upon reflection. Well, the Tobago
So you heard what Ralph what he had to say, right, Dad?
Yes, he's exploring his legal options. Defamation has two limbs. You have libel and slander. Slander would be things that you would have said,
right?
And libel is things that would have been written or printed. I think
right.
I explained that on your program some years ago,
right?
And the things that would have been said by Mr. Roberts and the things that would have been printed would have satisfied the two criteria of libel and slander if it can be shown that they are false and it meets the standard of defamation, which is it would have caused Dr. Gonzalez and his children to be viewed less in the eyes of right-thinking citizens of a society, or it would cause their reputation to be lowered in the eyes of right-thinking members of a society. I guess somebody reading the article and listening to what Mr. Roberts said would look at Dr. Gonzalez as in a lesser light, as though he's a crook. He's, and though his children, they are the beneficiaries of crookery,
right,
and fraud.
Right.
All right. And truth is a defense. Truth is a defense. So when the Prime Minister was asked about it, she said, well, there may be something there to support Mr. Roberts' contention because a few days before the election, I think one of the children got through with a house or an apartment at Victoria Keys. So it seems as though there was some kind of rush because they weren't, nobody knew who would have won. So probably some kind of gerrymandering must have been done to make sure that one of Dr. Gonzalez's children got through with an apartment at Victoria Keys. Well, I don't know if that would absolve Mr. Roberts from any lawsuit in defamation, because I think what he said, in my humble opinion, would be defamatory. And as the Prime Minister herself said, he has the right to explore his legal options, which he's doing. So I think Anil would have a case to answer in the court. Those children, Dr. Gonzalez's children were born here. They are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, so they could apply for an HDC house. It's not like his children, Solil, I think is the name of one, Storm is the name of another one. It's not like they are Vincentians who came into our jurisdiction and getting benefits over, above and beyond citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, their mother is a Trinidadian, and their father is a man who is well known to love Trinidadian women. All right, so they applied for a house and they got through. All right. So I don't know where Mr. Roberts is going with that. So that is why some people have come to the conclusion that he's trying to deflect attention away from Mark Bassan's article, which part 2 would be coming in the Sunday Express, and I urge all of your listeners to pay attention to Mark Bassan's work into life sport. And Mark Bassan, be careful. Be careful.
You know that he got a threat to his life.
That is why I'm telling Mr. Bassan to be careful. Be careful. We know certain people, right? We know certain people have a well-documented history. Right? I wouldn't say of what. I don't want you to get in trouble with your program, but anybody, any right-thinking person, out of the thousands of people who listen to this program right now, know why I would be telling Mr. Bassan, be careful, because Mark Bassan, at one point in time, I think he had to leave this country because he received threats against his life and all of that. He was doing some journalistic report on something, and that cooled down, and then he came back into the jurisdiction, and now he's doing it again. But be careful, Mr. Bassan. Be careful. Be careful. Yeah, be careful.
So I just want to remind people of what took place in live sport. And I want to remind them from the voice of the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa. Take a listen, Trinidad and Tobago. Be reminded of what took place on the live sport.
Because of the actions of a few, this program will have to be halted.
The announcement made by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa after revealing some of the findings of an audit report conducted on the live sport program. The report, which was done in the wake of media reports which raised serious questions about contracts which were handed out by the program, confirmed major discrepancies. The revelations read out like a rap sheet.
The review, as contained in the report, has revealed a number of discrepancies which include the following: procurement breaches, a deviation from the mandates of Cabinet, the involvement of some persons in criminal activities, fraud by suppliers, theft of equipment, breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act, and poor control and monitoring by officers of the ministry.
The Prime Minister said she was disappointed that the program, which was developed to turn youngsters away from the lure of criminal activities, instead became a hub for such activities.
And this is where I must express my personal deep disappointment and dismay that a program that was intended to save lives, to build lives, was used by a group of people for fraud and personal gain. This group of people who derailed the good intentions of the program have in effect given their support to criminality in some cases rather than to our young people.
The Prime Minister confirmed that the findings of the report conducted by the Audit Committee were serious enough to be forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Acting Commissioner of Police.
Further, I have accepted the recommendations of the Audit Committee, and in that regard I have instructed the Honourable Attorney General to turn the report over to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Commissioner of Police to investigate, detain and prosecute those guilty to the fullest extent of the law.
The Prime Minister says the situation has also confirmed the need for new procurement measures to be established to avoid similar instances of corruption in the future. Peter Christopher, C.
So you heard it right?
If there's one thing I have to give you credit for on your program, is the clips you're able to pull. I mean, that was very opposite to hear the Prime Minister herself at the time of the fiasco making that statement. I mean, that was on point. I have to give it to you, man. That was on point. I mean, this is years ago. And to hear her in the moment speaking of a disappointment, and because of the actions of a few, and, you know, the DPP have given instructions, and to hear the Prime Minister herself saying that it's like deja vu. Get a sense of the seriousness of what happened years ago. And the seriousness of the allegations that the now minister would have faced back then. And he was fired, not so?
Yes.
He was fired by the Prime Minister.
Yes.
You know, so this investigative journalistic piece that Mr. Basant is doing is very relevant and very opposite, and I believe he's quaking in his boots. You know, and now to come and attack Dr. Gonzalez's children is just a very cheap shot. And we're not stupid in this country. We know the allegations that have been hanging over his head and are hanging over his head with life sport, even though he got some kind of a minuscule victory in the courts with one aspect of the program. We are aware of the allegations that's still hanging over the head of Mr. Ramdeen. We are aware of the allegations that's still hanging over the head of Mr. Ram Logan, you know, and we are aware of the allegations and the court matters that Dr. Rudal Munilal must still answer to. We have not forgotten, we're not stupid. And to hear him come and do something like that, he should just have gone about his business. But now all attention is back on him, and he could face a lawsuit.
But somebody asked us a question sometime this week, right? I want to just, because as a lawyer, Dad, I want you to answer the question for them. But what I want to do, I want to play the clip, and from the clip, you could I'll allow you to answer the question. No, I know the answer to the question, But as a lawyer, a learned lawyer, I want you to answer them, because I'll tell you something, Dad. People are seeing, like some people eyes are now opening. The eyes are now open to what is we really do boy to this country. What is we really do boy? You know that?
Yes, I understand.
There are people who are, they are like, what have we done? Something is wrong.
Yeah.
And I want to play this clip. And when I play this clip, I'll ask you the question and you will answer for Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm listening.
For Trinidad and Tobago for people, I feel when you answer the question, people will feel sick. People will be very upset, but it is the truth. You have to tell them the truth. Right? So take a listen to this, Dad.
The Privy Council has denied T.N. Ramnath and Company Limited, its principal Taradat Ramnath, Calco Limited, Motilal Ramhit and Sons Contracting Limited, and Fides Limited permission to appeal a Court of Appeal decision. This ruling dismissed their applications to strike out Estate Management and Business Development Companies Limited, EMBD's case, or compel EMBD to provide further details. EMBD's case involves claims of unlawful conspiracy, bribery, dishonest assistance, and breach of fiduciary duty related to 12 civil work contracts awarded shortly before the 2015 general election. EMBD seeks to recover $275 million and declare the contracts void due to illegality. The lawsuit also involves counterclaims from contractors seeking payment for work under these contracts, and it names former government minister Dr. Rudal Munilal among the defendants. Following the Privy Council's decision, the case will proceed to trial under Mr. Justice C. Prasad, with defendants, including Dr. Munilal, are now required to file their defenses by November 6, 2024. Previous efforts to stop the trial were rejected by the High Court in August 2020 and the Court of Appeal in January 2024.
A High Court judge has ruled there is sufficient evidence for the bribery and fraud matter involving UNC candidate for Oropouche East, Dr. Rudal Munilal, and the EMBD to go to trial. Contractors will have to explain unusual patterns, oddities, and inconsistencies in 10 contracts with the Estate Management Business Development Company for road rehabilitation works in 2015. Crystal Wilson reports.
After a 3.5-hour-long summary of details relating to the matter of Namalco, Fides, Calco, T.N. Ramnath and Company Limited, and Motilal Ramit and Sons, and Dr. Rudal Munilal against the Estate Management Business Development Company, Justice James Abood delivered his ruling virtually. The AMBD's lawsuit against Dr. Munilal and the others allege breach of fiduciary duty, cartel behavior, bribery, collusion, knowing receipt, dishonest assistance, and unlawful means conspiracy. TTT News understands the EMBD's case against the contractors allege that with the intention of enriching themselves and injuring EMBD, knowingly procured and or obtained the EMBD contracts, certifications and payments from EMBD by reason of collusion between themselves and others that was designed to ensure that specific companies were awarded specific contracts at inflated amounts and received payments that were not due. It's also alleged that the former minister and certain representatives of EMBD participated in what was described as the cartel arrangements and or inappropriately sought to favor contracts. In delivering his ruling, Justice Abood added, there's also evidence that a tenders committee was not involved in the award of contracts for 6 EMBD contractors. Justice Abood read from text messages exchanged among those allegedly involved in defrauding the EMBD, who are said to have benefited substantially from inflated contract costs. In some instances, Justice Abood said the overpricing amounted to as much as 80% more than the estimated contract costs. Attorneys have requested time to consider the ruling before making further submissions on August 21st. Crystal Wilson, TTT News.
You heard that?
Yes. And what is the question?
EMBD is a state-owned company. It's a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. The board of EMBD would have taken the contractors and the minister to court. Now that the government has changed, can that matter be thrown out?
No.
Okay, tell us.
No, the matter can't be thrown out.
If the board decide to drop the matter.
No. Let me explain something to your listeners, right? There are 3 branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The executive runs the country. The executive would be the prime minister, the cabinet, all police officers, army, prison, coast guard, and whatever. All right, that is the executive. And every public servant. 65,000 public servants in the case of Trinidad and Tobago. That's the executive. Right? They run the country, basically. They decide what would be laws. They bring those laws to Parliament for discussion and debate and whatever. The legislature would be the judges headed by the Chief Justice. And then that the legislature would be the Parliament, and then the judiciary would be all the judges headed by the Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago, who is now Mr. Ronnie Booson. Those 3 arms of state, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, are supposed to be independent, meaning that their functions must not overlap. So the executive is not supposed to pass a law because a judge told them to. All right? And the judiciary is not supposed to be influenced by Parliament. No, Parliament makes laws, but judges also make laws too. A judge makes law when he rules in a particular favor, if you understand what I'm saying, or in a particular way, and that becomes precedent. I'm saying all of that to say this. With the legislative, the executive, and judiciary, they are independent bodies, and they operate independently. This is a judicial matter, right? There's enough evidence for this thing to go to trial. The preliminary inquiry is over. There was some appeal that went to the Privy Council, and they ruled yes, there's enough evidence, and it would now be put before a different judge. But Justice Westman James, I appeared before recently in a matter that lasted for about 6 years. Right? He ruled that yes, there's enough evidence to go forward, and no board decision, the EMBD cannot now act in their act in their own interest, like in a self-serving manner. To say here what, we are the board of the EMBD, Rudal Munilal, that is we boy, or that was we boy back then, you know, and we in power now again, so let us throw it out. The EMBD cannot throw a matter out of the court, if you understand what I'm saying. Because the EMBD, the Education Management Business Development Company, they are a public company, and that is supervised by the executive. And the executive cannot make a call on a judicial ruling. Are you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The judges have ruled. The judges have ruled that there's enough evidence for it to go to trial. And that Dr. Rudal Munilal and certain companies benefited tremendously from inflating, you know, prices and costs and contracts and all of that. And there was a case. The answer, Dr. Rudal Munilal filed an appeal. It reached the Privy Council, and the Privy Council agreed with a judge in the lower court that yes, there's a case to answer. So, Dr. Rudal Munilal and all the companies, Taradat and Company and all of that, they all go to court to answer. You know, so there's no escaping that to say the board of the EMBD could sit and make a decision and say, well, we can't throw out a court matter. That is impossible. Anybody who's thinking like that is totally wrong.
But the matter, Dad, this month, November, this month will make it a year since they are waiting for the parties to bring their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't.
Right. So, right, because they didn't bring a defense because the matter that Dr. Rudal Munilal, the appeal that he had filed, for some judicial review, right, of the matters, whether there was procedural impropriety or something. You see, in these public service cases, there are three issues: illegality, impropriety, and procedural impropriety, and irrationality. So it's either the case is irrational, the case has no basis in reason or fact. It's either the case is illegal, it has no basis in law, and so it should not be brought. Or there was some procedural impropriety in that the claimant failed to do something that should have been done. As a result, the defendant is trying to be absolved from any responsibility to answer the case. And so you file for judicial review. Dr. Rudal Munilal filed for judicial review. It went to the Privy Council. The Privy Council said, no, you're wrong. Go to court. That's what happened. So, in instances like that, they could actually stay the proceedings and say to the defendant, don't file anything yet, because whatever you file could be impacted by the decision of the Privy Council. And you don't want to implicate yourself. You want to put something before the court. Next thing, the Privy Council rule in your favor. And you already have all types of evidence before the court that could further implicate you. So, you could have a stay on your filing your defense. Pending the outcome of the Privy Council. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And usually that's a stalling tactic used by defendants. If I am taken to court, all right, and I don't agree with the case, or I believe I don't have a case to answer, I can file for judicial review of the case. So I file before the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal will take 2 years or a year to decide whatever. And if the Court of Appeal agrees with the lower court that I have a case to matter, I appeal the decision of the Court of Appeal to the Privy Council. And that will take another 2 years. By the time the Privy Council say, yes, you have a case to answer, and they send it back to the lower court, which is the High Court, some years pass, and I could now take my good time and file my defense. Why do you think that airport scandal has now reached its finality? The court in New York ruled that this guy, I can't remember his name. The case so old, Brian Quaitong, Brian Quaitong done old already, the other guy, and they ruled that he has $190 million or whatever to pay to the state. That case took 20-something years. And I think Ishgal Baransin died.
Yeah.
So it is possible that a case that began in your 50s could finish in your 70s, or a case that began in your 60s could finish in your 80s or your 90s. And these men have the money to make the case go on that long. The poor man don't have that money, so the court just rules against him and either do prison time or he's ordered to make certain payments. But if you have money, you could challenge on every little thing, challenge, knowing that each challenge will take about 2 years. So this case, this EMBD case that involves Dr. Rudal Munilal will end up just like the airport scandal case. By the time this case goes, Rudal, everybody there. Sorry to put it that way, but trust me. They're going to install this because it has been sent back to the High Court. Then it will go to the Court of Appeal. And then they will appeal everything at the Privy Council. And they'll do it all over again. They have the money to do it. These men are millionaires. And they could stall the process. So I don't think that they are as afraid as people would like them to be. You know, I mean, some people say, Rudal Munilal better be worried. No, these men know that they have the money, the wherewithal, and the means to stall the system. So Rudal Munilal going and have a good sleep tonight, knowing that by the time they decide that he done dead and gone or whatever. That's the thing with the rich and the poor man in these societies. The poor man don't stand a chance because he just does not have the money. So this case going on drag on.
Let's take some calls and hear what the people have to say. And when you call in, let us know if you believe that who you think will win the THA election. So we're taking your calls on 464-7003. 464-7003. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Just now, you have to call 464-7003. 464-7003. 464-7003. All right. 464-7003. Hello, good evening. I know you ain't here, you know. No, I know you ain't here. Oh, gosh. Hey, just now, let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Pastor, good evening to you, my brother.
Good evening.
What is concerning the Tobago election coming up? The TNT, in fact, the Trinidad arm of the PNM should go to Tobago as often as they can and support the minority leader in Tobago. Come with the facts, come with all the information that you have concerning what the PNM did for Tobago over the years. Well, one thing I want to stick in here too. You know, Kamla Prasad Vitessa was 4 years old when Dr. Eric Williams formed the PNM. So where she got her education from? Not under a PNM government? Yes, but see all these facts and what the PNM must come out with all these things. And so my view, in closing, they should go to Tobago as often as they can and campaign in Tobago. Thank you very kindly. I have a lot more to say, but I want to, free up the line.
So who do you think will win the THA elections?
Well, I am hoping that, as it stands now, I personally am hoping that PNM wins the election.
Okay, then.
I'm not going to say who I think will win.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that PNM wins the election.
All right. Thank you very much. All right.
Catching it.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I feel the parliament will win the election for two reasons. The social media is destroying the PNM, and the PNM don't understand that. And two, we have a eater food culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and the PNM don't have the money to feed. You know what I'm telling you? We have a eater food culture, and the PNM don't have the money to feed the ground. It's a PNM, you know.
No, you can't be a PNM talking, so.
It has too much issues going on in the country, and the PNM sitting down silent.
Why you say that? But they have any? Okay, sir. All right.
Pastor Gogo, why you vexed? Because
I
somebody
ain't vexed.
talking the
No,
truth.
no. You hear me vex? All I said to you, sir, is okay.
I am a PNM till I dead.
But why would you say that I'm upset? All I said is okay.
I am a PNM until I dead. I just say crap for politics. You know what I'm telling you? Too much issues are going on in the country, and the PNM is just silent. Silent. And the DOC destroying them in social media.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
This situation with the Prime Minister, Ralph Gonzalez, you find the PNM was silent on this?
I'm not talking about that.
No, just now. No, just now. I'm just asking you, do you think that they was silent on that?
No.
All right. The issue with the PNM, there's Mr. What's his name? Imbert came out with some concerns that he is seeing happening in First Citizen Bank with the manipulating of the shares and stuff like that. I saw when Minister Stuart Young is asking the media to ask the government about the billions of dollars that has been taken out of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund that they cannot account for. What have they done with that money? Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Manning is all over social media. Felicia is beating up on Mr. Manning because he is on this program saying to her that you are telling your people that they will get their money for Christmas and they are not going to get that money. Right? There's an issue I'm seeing where also the mayor of Diego Martin. So I trying to I hear you say that I vex. Me and vex. I am saying to you that
not enough. It's just not enough.
Nothing will be enough for Trinidadians.
Look what the UNC doing.
What the UNC doing?
UNC is propagating that it never had growth, and the PNM destroyed the economy.
And PNM, the senator who was the former minister of finance came out and he would have explained to
Let me explain something here. I on the ground. Why they might be talking to that and PNM people? The UNC is brainwashing the brother and the sister on the ground. That is what they're dealing with. Right? So nobody don't want to listen to PNM and no media conference saying that, and the PNM have to have a way to reach the young people. And this is what I'm telling you, Last night I had an argument with somebody on the phone. A big woman. Rowley sell the pitch league. You know what I went and do this morning? To show her I went and do the research. And I show her the pitch league belonged to Trinidad, but it was leased in 2015 under the UNC. This is the work I'm doing for the PNM.
But caller,
PNM not reaching the ground.
All right, caller. All right, thank you very much.
By telling you.
Caller, I have other callers out. Let's have other callers trying to get through too. So I hear you.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. I'm calling from Tobago.
Hey, thank you very much for calling, sir. Tell us, what's going on in Tobago?
Well, if you look at the last 3 to 4 years in Tobago, and anybody who have a proper thinking, brain, or have part of the brain using, and you look around Tobago, what can you see as any major projects that was done on this regime right now? Besides criticizing the last prime minister, call him all different names and try to belittle him, he has done so much for Tobago, starting from the vessels, the boats, to the airport, to so many different projects. Tobago was progressing over those years, When this new administration coming, there's nothing that you could say that you have seen done to improve Tobago. So this talk about they're going to win again, I don't think so. they're not winning any 15 or 14 seats like before. They'll be trimmed to size because they definitely is not performing. And they only have a vindictive mind. And be trimmed to size. And I'm saying Tobagonian supposed to open their eyes and see what is happening. It's a power play between he and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She just playing a game. And people are supposed to be wise enough because they came in this situation where we come to fix this. What have they done? What have they fixed?
Dad, you have any questions for him? Dad.
They had this major projects for Scarborough development. You have it in the airport. You was having sandals. I don't understand why is it thinking of Tobago's mind, you know. So I am praying and hoping that they're going to win at least the majority of seats.
All right.
Because, so thank you very much.
Thank you
I
for
listen
calling.
to you every night. I listen to you every night.
Thank you very much for calling from Tobago. I really appreciate this.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I
thank
appreciate
you.
the call. And when the Tobagonians speak on behalf of Tobago, I won't question them.
Okay.
I won't question them. They on the ground. They know what they're speaking about. You know, so I'm listening to what every Tobagonian caller has to say.
All right. All right. So we're going to continue to take the calls. Hello, good evening.
Good night, Pastor Google and your father there. Pastor Google and YouTube tell him you have to get more young listeners to listen to the program. So why didn't any young UNC callers, you take care of old PLM callers and them, man? Pastor Google right back in Valley with Tobago full 100. Well, Pastor Google is on fearless. You are the father there. It has to test in Trinidad and Tobago, yeah. Apply for looking at 40 something, you're looking at 60 something else. Rap goes down and family not hungry, much people them know. Then you can buy land, someone can buy house on
all right, so listen to this. Are you aware that the apartments that they would have purchased, they purchased it on the open market?
No, it was an open market.
It was all right. So listen. All right. So watch the program. Continue to watch.
Your father is a lawyer. Father is doing research.
All right.
And don't mislead the public because he's a PLM now.
All right then. Okay. All right. Okay. I think you're overstepping your bounds there now. Don't attack the old man. Anytime you start to attack the old man, you're attacking me.
Pressure. Jesus. Baila, by what? Jesus.
Camila, making me suffer. Camila, making me suffer.
I warn all you did not listen to me. You say yellow is the code, so you went and voted for she. But look what's happening now, a good 6 months ain't even passed. In every nook and corner, the poor man catching your ass. You didn't like it rowdy, he too arrogant and black. So you look for greener pastures and went and vote Kamala back. You do like Dr. Rowley, you don't like how he does talk. You went and vote Kamala, the woman could hardly walk.
You hear that, Parang?
Yeah.
You ain't like it?
What, the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice song.
Yes, okay, Dad.
I was just amused at the caller before.
Why you was amused at him?
Well, this whole thing about we should get younger callers to call in, and he thinks that my perspective or my take on it is based on my age, and I is a old PNM and that kind of thing. So that's what had me laugh. He don't know I 35. You feel like it's bad now.
Well, if you used 35, but then I is 13.
Yeah. You know, but
I find they say that yeah. Don't join this band. Let's take this caller.
Yeah, you know he don't have a basis. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good info, shit all around. And I told you some time ago, Pastor Google, that Dr. Swarad Singh, Minister of Planning and so on, that he had said that the Tobago airport was too big for Tobago.
He said that?
He said it again.
You're breaking up. He said that when?
He said that this morning on an interview on one of the early morning program.
He said that it's a big wait, just no, don't do that. Let's come. Listen to me. Let's come on this program. No, I like to play people saying things.
Pastor, I'm not lying. I will try to get I'll try to make a clip from the program, but I will tell you what the gentleman said. What the gentleman said is that the traffic through PRT annually is 1.2 million persons, right? He said that the capacity for the New Tobago airport will rival that, it will double that. So it's supposed to be catering for 3 million foot traffic, right? You know what he said? He said the hotel stock on the island is not enough to cater for that amount of people coming through. Tobago will need about 7,000 rooms. And when that man said that, I was just saying, but listen, but his partner administration in Tobago ran one of the most successful franchises, Caribbean franchise from the island, who were willing to do 2 resorts in Tobago, right? So what are you talking about? So you're blaming the last administration for being forward thinking and having Tobago interest in her. So you wait till they get it from 10 billion the airport. I say, wow, we are really in trouble with these people. Really in trouble with these people. You understand? I couldn't believe it. But you know, the thing about all that is going on for me is that, all right, the people spoke on the 28th of April, they were put in. But remember all the time leading up to the election for the last 9 years, all the Monday night forum, they had all the ideas. Right? I am looking on the television news tonight and hearing the Minister of Homeland Security championing that we are out of the top 10 murder countries for the world, where we dropped down from being 36 in every 100,000 to now 21 in every 100,000. So we had a 35% drop in, and that's because of the work that they are doing. What the SOE? That's the work you're telling us about?
Yep.
And people in the audience applauding that. You know, I heard a section of the audience applauding that. You understand? So that is the crime plan. SOE, and when it ends in January, what we will have. But you know, Pastor, about the whole thing with Dr. Gonzalez's relatives and so on, right? So you rolled out a revitalization plan, and you said Trinidad and Tobago is open for business. But with the revelations that came out from the errant minister in the ministry, who should be nowhere near anything official except being in a swimming pool coaching people, and even then, right? Hear this. You as a potential investor, you go on social media and you see this post of this one who you might not know, and you read what was leaked. you as an investor, would you have confidence to come here to invest in Trinidad?
Of course not.
But we are saying that we are open to the world. Which world they open to? Not investors from Singapore and the Middle East. Because these people try on confidentiality. That is why the offshore banking sector in the Cayman Islands and the Bahamas is so robust. They took some Caicos. That is why the banking sector in Switzerland is the most renowned for what? The confidentiality. Right? Remember, these people kept the plunder of the Nazi regime safe in their banks, and was only the lawsuit by the Jewish lobby that made them relent. You understand? And they relented because listen, like the UK and other people appealed to the conscience. Otherwise, they would have gone to the grave like the United States Templar protecting the secrets of the Nazis. But we have an administration trying to fool us to say that people will come to invest in Trinidad and Tobago.
Kola, we need to pray.
Take care, and thanks again, gentlemen, for the opportunity.
You're welcome, man. So, Daddy, hear what the man had to say, right?
Right, but I just have one comment to make. And I'm supporting what he said. And I am saying that if this government is celebrating a reduced crime rate based on an SOE, I'm saying we'll have to remain under state of emergency until 2030. I'm also saying that we will have to depend on the American presence in our waters until 2030. What I'm saying is that is not a crime plan. You know? That is not a crime plan. That is just luck. We just happen to have a SOE, and we just happen to have the American presence here with the bombing a few pyramids, and that is what the Commissioner of Police is banking on to say that there's some plan by the government, but the government really had no plan. And SOE is not a plan, a state of emergency is not a crime plan.
Right.
Neither is it a crime plan that the Americans are here sitting in our waters and bombing every 2 days a pirogue with 6 or 3 men bringing some coke from Venezuela to wherever. That is not a crime plan. That is not a plan. And when the Americans would have left, and they would leave, they're already leaving. And when the SOE is over, we would see a ballooning and an explosion of crime we have never seen before.
Wow. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening to you and your father. First question I want to ask your father is, I think I posted in the chat there. I wanted to know that how a case does get on a judge's docket. Because I find certain cases just continue going to a particular judge, especially when it's controversial case to the UNC. I don't know. So that's one thing I wanted to find out, if he had any knowledge of that. Pertaining to what the guy said earlier on about winning in Tobago, well, I would like PNM to win. And we used to talk about right-thinking people, but sometimes I just question that right-thinking thing, because we said that the last election, and look what happened. I watched in Point 14, and I didn't go down Point for a while. I know you live down there. When I see the work that was done down there, I don't know how this man was see down there. You get hospital, you get this, you get that, the road, the highway. So I don't know if they're judging people on their performance. So that I just be a little baffled with that. Because to me, it was performance. He had no right to lose that seat in Point 14 at all. So I don't know how people are judging them things. So that's just my way. But I really like the PNM to win in Tobago.
All right.
Right?
So caller, before you leave, caller.
Yeah.
I don't live Point 14. I live San Fernando.
Oh, sorry. But I know you travel down there and you probably see the kind of work that
Yeah. I would have. I used to pastor a church down there, but no, I didn't. I don't live down there.
Okay, all right. Okay, my apologies.
All right, man. Let's see if Dad could answer your question. Dad, you hear the question, right?
Yes.
Yes, I heard the question. Basically, all right, so let me give an example. There's a perception in this very racially divided country that if a particular case comes up before a judge who it is perceived as of a particular political persuasion, then the case could be biased. So Inshan Ishmael decided to sue Coco, right? That case came up before Justice Frank C. Prasad. Justice Frank C. Prasad, based on his last name alone, there was a perception among certain Afro-Trinidadians that he's racial and that he is UNC. You see, that is how we think in this country. So there was talk by the UNC of appointing a Lord Chancellor, all right, stating that the Chief Justice needed a certain amount of assistance. And some people thought, well, if you have a Lord Chancellor and somebody is in charge of docketing cases, then the UNC would have somebody inside who could say, okay, this case could go before this particular judge because this judge is a UNC, and we don't want this case to go before this African judge because he's a PNM. Really and truly, judges are supposed to be impartial, but they are human beings, and I'm not the one to make that call as to whether a judge is UNC or PNM. What I do know is that because the country is so racially divided, when we have a black Chief Justice, the PNM, there's a perception that that Chief Justice and that they are friends. In the case of Chief Justice Ivor Archie and Dr. Keith Rowley, there will be a perception that, well, the Chief Justice would rule all cases that would favor the PNM in PNM's favor or whatever. Now that we have an Indian Chief Justice and Chief Justice of East Indian descent, right, and Dr. Rani Dudu Singh, there will be that perception that, okay, all the cases would go the UNC way and all of that. And that is very unfortunate because the judiciary is supposed to be impartial. I still have some faith in the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't believe that we should judge what party a judge belongs to or what political persuasion based on his hairline. So thinking that all Indian judges are UNC oriented and all African judges are PNM. That is not so. I know African people who are UNC and I know Indian people who are PNM.
All right. All right. Taking some of your calls on 464-7003, 464-7003, 464-7003. That is the number to call. So we look at Dr. Ralph Gonzal, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and his situation with his family. His wife is Trinidadian, his children are born Trinidadians. The apartments that they would have acquired were on the open market. Right? It was on the open market for anybody to purchase. And so the nonsensical discussion and talk about, they leave St. Vincent and they come here and they're not hand to mouth. So, okay, they're not hand to mouth and they leave St. Vincent and they came to Trinidad and they purchased a home that was on the open market. Even if the young lady or the young man would have applied for an apartment to rent to own, he is a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Right?
And he has a right to do so.
What are you calling back for?
I must say good night to your father. Your father is a old school. You look like he's a man like Plenty Mama Guy and Papa. He's a lawyer. You go come and tell me the fruits about it. You love your party. But Pastor Good, your boy Barteria. Barteria come as a little boy to be a paid man to be dead. And Barteria still renting in Barteria. How you get it?
Oh, Lord. That had nothing to do with you. That ain't your business. That is none of your business. You talking worse than Anil Roberts. You following the man out. How you know the man renting? These fellas and them just get so personal. So you following Mr. Barteria to know if he renting or if he not renting, and you want to find out why he ain't get HCC house. Why you ain't get one? Use a UNC, your party in power. Up to now you can't get a walk, your hand to mouth. You're vexed. And don't start me because and the better don't start me because I will play all the clips he send me of them crying on another show.
Mm-hmm.
All of them UNC supporters, callers, talk show hosts, crying. How they ain't getting nothing. And people who is not UNC getting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they talking
My
about
point
Twiggy.
exactly.
They talk about Twiggy. They talk about Matara. They talk about which next one name? NCW. All of them who getting board appointment, who getting to work in Wassa, who getting to all of them getting through. You see, them get promised CPEP. They get promised URP. Christmas is so much weeks away, and they ain't seeing a ham on the table yet. Farm or for turkey. That is the problem, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That is the problem. Right now, I see in UNC bloggers asking a question. I see a UNC blogger. He was a Philip Alexander supporter asking. He said, "Is it true what I am hearing that a former PNM turned UNC supporter get a work in Wassa? Is that true?" I say, wow. You could take up your phone and call Philip and ask him. Philip will fix it. But it is interesting, though. But it is interesting, though, Dad, that a lot of pastors are telling people. A lot of pastors. You hear me, Dad?
Yes, I'm hearing it.
A lot of pastors are telling their members to hush all your mouth. Don't say anything bad about the government. Just pray.
What kind of nonsense is that?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Just pray?
Just pray. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. The government. Just pray for the government.
Mm-hmm.
So a man,
I don't know.
A man was asked a question. A bishop in America was asked to go and pray for Donald Trump. Right?
Yes.
He was asked to go and pray for Donald Trump. So the bishop said, "Yes, I'll go and pray for Donald Trump." He said, "But am I allowed to tell him some of the things that black people are still facing in America that we would like for him to address?" They said, "No. All we want you to do is come and pray for him. We don't need you to come and give him any talk about what's going on in your community." The bishop said, "Well, I'm not coming to pray for you. How if I want to make a petition for he, and I can't tell he something that my community is facing that he could fix, then what sense it making?"
Yeah, the man is a politician.
Let's take this call. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, senior and junior pastor.
Yes, good afternoon.
You know, it is really amazing that we sit here and we listen to and we talk about all that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. And I have to listen this evening on a I-95.5. A lady came on and she lamented her woes that she had a job with, I think, is CPEP, and that she was able to pay for her home that she had gotten. But since then, she has lost her job, and the payments that she was making towards her property has gone up to the extent where things have gotten so bad that she could barely make it. She cannot assist in taking care of her family. She cannot pay for her home. and she lamented the pain and suffering that she is going through. And there are a lot of people in that position today. And it is devastating that the present government don't give a damn about what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, there's an election coming up in Tobago just now. And I heard your father earlier indicating that he's of the view that Farley is going to win hands down. That may be so. I heard you disagree with him, Pastor Google. But the point is simply this. We, as African people, continue to make the same mistakes all the time. And we are not attempting to understand or be intelligent enough to recognize and realize that we are paying for our own downfall. Yes, we are. Because Darian Marcel said something again this afternoon that I didn't even think about. Because just now dry season is going to come around. And we have no forestry people to identify and call out to the fire people in time to say, listen, that our forest is on fire and it could be detrimental to those who are built very close to the hills, as well as many of our land spaces where the fire department comes. When you're coming down the highway and you're seeing the smoke, there'll be nobody to indicate, perhaps in time, that there is a fire, there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. And therefore, we have to ask the question, what about all of those people who would have squatted or built houses on hills where, when dry season comes around, that there will be trouble? They spoke about the grass and all of the things that happen when your grass is high, and all of the roaches and the type of things that will perhaps eventually get into your yard, because of they tend to want to look for the grass, the high grass, in order to hibernate and so on. And at the end of the day, those of us who live in those type of areas are going to pay for it. Yes? And with an election around the corner, imagine Farley could not even tell the people he has dissolved Parliament and could not give a date for when elections will be called. So therefore, the minority have to speculate with respect to it may be called summit, maybe just before Carnival next year. We don't know. Or he may just drop it just so and say, okay, what you call it, we're going to go to the polls in December. We don't know. And this is how the country is being run. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa has come out and supported what has been said about a prime minister of a CARICOM nation. She has come out in support of it this evening. I had to listen on my television that she's come out in support of it. So it begs the question, where are we as a people who did not even vote, many of us, who didn't care to vote? Where are we really and truly going? Are we going to repeat those same mistakes that we have just recently made? Look at what is happening with First Citizens Bank. Then that what you call it? It was announced this morning it was in the papers that the share prices have dropped. If the share prices are dropping drastically without any questions being asked except by ComEmber, what is going to happen in January when they have to pay 0.25% on profits being made in the banks? What will happen to the share price then? Is anybody asking or questioning that outside of ComEmber? So all the people who have shares in First Citizens Bank or has money there, and we have to eventually have to pay more for any business or transactions that they may do in the bank. What's going to happen? All of these things we have to ask the question. When last have you heard that the opposition has been able to have, normally at the end of the month in the parliament, they can have, what do you call it now? They can bring up a motion in the parliament. For the 6 months that we have been in the parliament, have you heard anything about the opposition being allowed to bring a motion to the parliament at the end of the month? Absolutely nothing. Has there been any all of the decisions being made? Has there been any consultation? Nothing. Has the children gotten their laptops yet? No. Have they gotten these $1,000 to assist them with their books and their clothing and so on? No. Has MILAT for those children between 14 and 16 who have been suspended from school or expelled from school, have they been given a chance with MILAT? MILAT is under review. So in other words, those children are home. And the easiest thing for the gangs to do is to identify them and bring them in. And you have a man talking about he going to open on the East-West corridor of football something called DNA. And he's telling those parents of those same children that he wants to attend his football program, that all they shouldn't have no work because all is PNM. Are these parents going to allow their children to join that?
All right.
These are some of the questions we have to ask. I've not been all over the place, but at the end of the day, these are some of the questions we have to ask, and we must find answers for them. Because if we don't find answers, where will we be? Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Any comment, Dan?
Yeah, well, he made several issues there. I'm seeing the time is 10:48, so we've gone the air for 2 hours and 18 minutes. What is your lock-off time, sir?
11.
Oh, that's a good time. But I think the guy made several points there. I wasn't aware that the share prices had dropped in First Citizens, but I knew it would have. And I knew that interest rates and fees and charges would have gone up in the banks. But with a drop in the share prices of First Citizens and a further drop, that is not good.
But that's what I was telling the man who was saying that PNM not on social media and PNM not this and not that. And I told him that the reason why people could talk about that is because Calm Imbert would have brought it to people's attention.
Well, PNM needs to get a younger PR person. Nobody kind of listens to Calm except old PNM people. If Brian Manning could take the charge of the social media aspect and, get on the radio stations, go there and talk to younger people like yourself, go there and talk to people like Blaze and stuff. And, I think it would do much more. It would reach a much wider audience. I've always said that PNM has a serious PR problem, right? They do good things and nobody's aware of it. And it comes like, you don't do anything at all. I don't even operate on the principle where Jesus said, if you're right and do something, don't let your left hand do it. But this politics, man, if you have something to say, the whole nation should hear it. Every person living in Trinidad and Tobago should have opportunity to hear it. Go on TikTok, go on YouTube, go on Instagram. PNM need to be all over the place, telling people, showing people the dire consequences of this budget.
I think they did a very good job. I think they did a very good job, though, in the standing committee, the standing finance committee. I think people who never but let's be real, though, Dad. Trinidad and Tobago, for me personally, most persons in Trinidad and Tobago are aware of what went on in that standing. I'm telling you. I went to the barber shop. All in the taxis, you hear people talking about how the government songs, they flip-flopping and the song is so stupid. Because they can't answer questions.
And thanks to social media, but we need somebody to champion it. And we need to see how things get around in Trinidad and Tobago. Anytime Junior Lee says something, everybody knows it. Every time, oh gosh, I forget the other one. When Raw Talk says something, everybody does know it. You know why? Because Trinidadians, we are very comedic people. We're very jocular. We like to laugh. So you have to use sometimes some of these people to break it down for the younger people so that people 30 and under would understand. People in Trinidad, 35 years and under, don't watch the news. They don't listen to the news. They know who Kamala is. They barely know who the leader of the opposition is. Alright, they're not politically, they don't have high political acumen. Right, so the PNM need to keep some younger people to break it down for people who 30, for people who 35 to understand that this will affect your banking, this will affect your interest rate, this will affect your future, and you need to vote PNM. That is all I'm saying. I always thought PNM did a very poor job at PR.
Well, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hey, pleasant good night, Pastor. Good night to your dad, Pastor Mackenzie. Sir, I have an industrial relation question to ask is about the negotiations, right? So, I firm to a conclusion in Trinidad and Tobago that the 10% or would not know there'll be no payment for Christmas, right? We know that there's going to be an negotiation. For the 10% is going to commence between the CPU and the PSA president. But we don't know, all we know is at the end of the month, but we do not know the duration. We know of certain facts that the money was not allocated to pay anybody in this fiscal year. My question is, if negotiation goes on, let's say for 4 or 5 years, right? And there's a mini recession. I'm just saying because the possibility of recession, right? And the government says they cannot pay, and with that, they become unfavorable. Lost a general election. Whoever comes into the next 5, are they honored now to pay the PSA because they were in negotiations, and let's say they wrapped up with the CPU and they come to a sort of agreement. Now have a legal document binding that they have to get paid by the 10% now, and they could carry on saying for 20 years, look, we have a document saying that we need to get paid. Could that possibly happen? Could that be? I don't see it happening. They're getting their payment anytime soon. And Pastor, update for you, nobody has gotten any calls today, and tomorrow is Thursday from the recruitment drive. Nobody in my ring get called today, right? Our partner told me today who working in a contractor for BP&A that their contracts may have to change because of the new NIS rates and stuff. They have to change because their employer says now their salary, the amount that they're paying for the year, is going to increase. So they have to change their working the amount of hours they're getting paid for. I don't know how that's happening, but that's when you're working for private people. Anyhow, have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Hear the question the young man asked?
Yes, I heard the question. All right, so if the government makes a commitment to pay public servants 10%, and they commit a certain amount of money, and after negotiations have concluded, they have agreed, yes, they will be paying public servants that. If they lose the next election and it is not paid, the new government coming in would have an obligation to pay public servants. Because the public servants could now take them to court and say there was a legitimate expectation of monies to be paid. But if
what happened there? Hello? Papa. Something he touched, you know. Something he touched. Papoy. Hello? Wait. Something you touched just now there was off. So you need to go back from when you said if the government change after the former government decided that we will pay 10%, government change. Go ahead.
Right, so it must be a decision of the former government. So let us say that the CPO meets with the union and there are negotiations, and it is agreed that they're going to be paid the 10% and they're going to be paid that money in certain tranches, so and so and so amount or whatever, and that is on paper, right? And there's a signed agreement between the government and the union. Then all public servants now would have a legitimate expectation of payment.
Okay. Hello?
The question the caller asks is if the government has changed. If the government has changed and the monies are not yet paid, if that new government has an obligation to pay, my answer is yes.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so the number again to call is 464-7003, 464-7003, 464-7003. All right, we just have a few more.
3 more minutes. Yeah.
You started exactly at 8:30? you started exactly at 8:30. You will get pay. You will get short payout. Hello, good evening. I could tell your opposition leader don't pay you this today. Hey, let me stop saying that. People team that and feel like getting pay. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Pastor. Good evening to your dad. Senior Dad, I want to ask you a question, please.
Yeah, you listening?
Right, I want a question, please. I want to try, is there anybody in this country who could make an inquiry and find out if our Prime Minister could be brought before the ICC considering what is going on in the situation in Venezuela? If anybody here in this country could, could do that, or we had to depend on the opposition again for that. I'll await your answer. Thank you very much.
All right, Daddy, heard the question?
No, just repeat the question.
You wanted to know if there's anybody, any lawyer, well-learned lawyer, could take our Prime Minister to the ICC court or something like that.
All right, so the person who would have raised that issue was, I think I read where Dr. Amory Brown had said Kamala could face consequences at the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity or whatever. But I respectfully disagreed with him in an article I wrote. And that is because even though Kamala agreed with the United States position that Maduro is a narco-terrorist and all of that, and that he's in the region protecting the interests of America and even the interests of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have a spiraling crime rate because of drugs being moved between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. She did not actively participate in it. She could be seen as a co-conspirator. But you realize that England pulled out. England recently pulled out and told America, we are not providing you with any more intelligence as to where boats are for you to bomb them because those bombings are illegal. Because England is smelling the rat and they continue showing America where to bomb when it's time for countries to be taken before the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity and genocide. They could be implicated. But I don't think Ms. Bissessa could be implicated simply because she agreed with America's position. So I don't believe she has any consequences to face before the International Criminal Court, which was founded by Dr. A.N.R. Robinson. And that is.
Interesting.
So I think I've
Interesting.
that falls right up my alley in public law. I did my master's program in public law and international law. So I could say for surety that for you to appear before the International Criminal Court, you must be directly involved. And 9 out of 10 times, the people who appear are the prime ministers or the presidents of the implicated country. All right? And they must have given orders. That's the most critical element in the case. They must have given orders for the killing of a people, of an ethnic group, an ethnicity, or given orders for the murder, right? So like President Duterte, I think it is of I don't know, I can't remember what countries, but Philippines or one of them. He would have given orders to his soldiers to go out on the street and murder drug addicts. And I think he murdered about 100 and something thousand of people. So he has consequences to face before the International Criminal Court. Donald Trump would have given orders to the American military to kill people before bringing them to trial. All right, so he would have consequences before the International Criminal Court. Ms. Bissessa just lent her support, so she can't be seen as a co-conspirator. So I don't believe.
When she said kill them violently.
When she said kill them violently, she gave her support, but she did not give an order to the Trinidad and Tobago military to kill anybody.
Okay.
She can't be brought before the court. And she's not Trump's advisor to say she's advising Trump. I'm advising you to kill them violently. She just threw my position was she should have kept quiet. But she said it anyway, but she can't be brought before the criminal court for that. You know? America would have to answer to the International Criminal Court, but they would not respond because they are not a member of the International Criminal Court. They have not signed up to the Hague Convention, and they have not done that because America wants to be free to do whatever they want around the world. So when I say any American president was brought before the International Criminal Court, it ain't happening. It's not happening at all. You know, so I don't believe that the Prime Minister would have any questions to answer. So I disagree with Dr. Amy Brown on that.
All right. Closing remarks?
Huh?
Closing remarks?
Closing remarks, well, as it stands now, I believe the country is in a very precarious position. I believe we are now seeing the repercussions and consequences of certain aspects of the budget, in that bank rates are going up. That has happened. Share prices have gone down in FCB. Rent prices have gone up. For the Christmas, we'll see how much the turkey and the ham would have gone up in prices. And public servants, 65,000 public servants, stand a very low to zero chance of being paid. All right. In December, 30,000 people in CPP and the reforestation program would have lost their jobs. So that is a pretty sad unemployment situation there. So we're not looking too good, especially going into the Christmas season, which is a spending season, and then next year is Carnival. And now I'm hearing that Taruba Stadium, the Brian Lara Stadium, would no longer be available for fets like Stink and Dirty and Experience and White and these other big fets that host sometimes between 15 and 30,000 people. So not only have they interfered with the people's money, they have interfered with the people's Christmas and the people's Carnival. All right, which isn't good. So I think, as you said, something is bubbling. All right, we hope it bubbles, but it doesn't bubble over. You know, but I always say, voting only changes your oppressor. That is all voting does. Voting changes your oppressor. It doesn't get rid of the oppression. The only thing that deals with the oppressor is revolution. You see, revolution removes the oppressor. We having a revolution in Trinidad. We too covered for that. A revolution is bloodshed. Nobody going and march in the streets. You're under state of emergency. In those serious first world countries, they violate the state of emergency and go out and mess up on a space. Thousands of people and risk being shot to death. That's what happens in countries where the people are serious. We're not serious. So there will be no revolution here. So for the next 100 years, all we will be doing is changing our process. And as my good friend said, every 5 years, 50 millionaires run this country. And if those 50 millionaires are 50 Indian millionaires, the Indians benefit. If those 50 millionaires are 50 PNM people, then certain people in the PNM benefit. And I think that is how it would be for a while until we catch up political bearings and grow up and mature politically and start seeing beyond race and start thinking about the country and vote people into office who care about the country and not about themselves and their sycophants and their supporters. So that is my closing remarks.
All right. Thank you very much, Dad, for me this evening.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon.
Anytime. Have a good night. Have a good night to your listeners.
All right. So you heard it there.
I warn all you did not listen to me. You say yellow is the code, so you went and voted for she. But look what's happening now, a good 6 months ain't even past. In every nook and corner, the poor man catching the ass. You didn't like it rowdy, he too arrogant and black. So you look for greener pastures and went and vote Kamala back. You do like Dr. Rowley, you don't like how he does talk. You went and vote Kamala, the woman could hardly walk.
Making me suffer. Camila, making me suffer.
David Lee get arrested, he end up in the hospital. These alleged corrupted big boys, they want to make jail at all. On one hand we have Kamala doggishly looking for war. On the next hand is the boy girl rat is man he looking for. Your AI song for election, it was a mortal sin. You lie and say when UNC win, everybody win. But after election, you let go your princess tongue hen. Now CPEP and URP workers catching the nenen.
Camila, making me suffer. Camila, making me suffer.
Them little bandits does engage the soldiers and police. But Kamala gone down Venezuela, disrupting the peace. If Venezuela sneeze, we whole army go start to run. We can't fight Venezuela with we set a little caps gun. This little girl in parliament just keep calling my name. But tell her in Kaiso I'm already in the Hall of Fame. God forbid if I do the things that she want me to do. I'm warning you, your receptacle going to split in two. Christmas time coming, things go be a little lean. You can't buy punch and rum, so you can't make punch a cream. But all them have their big money inside the vault, while poor man have to drink super gasoline and suck salt.
Camila, making me suffer. Camila, making me suffer.
Information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Having their say, for in this makes a plan that we call Trimbago. Trimbago. Many times it does just. Ha ha. Oh yeah. A leader, how to choose a leader.
You give your hand to me, and let me say hello. And now can hardly speak. My heart is beating so, and everyone can tell. You think you know me well. Well, you don't know me.
Hey guys, I am Nigel O'Connor, a singer for all seasons. I am that voice that moves you for every occasion. I am that voice that celebrates life moments one note at a time. I am Nigel O'Connor. You can contact me at 783-0054 or 754-3154. And oh yes, that's me singing in the background.
Nowadays I'm not speaking so.
I recall more than 3 decades ago, a senior telecommunications manager, let's call him Michael. And Michael was assigned to the task of presenting the government's position at a regional conference. Michael struggled and visibly trembled, especially since he presented after the retired North American ambassador, who had the audience in stitches, laughing up every word. I'm Dr. Madonna Todd. And I made a silent vow then to help people like Michael, who are technically competent, but who struggle and succumb to fear when speaking in public. Now, as a communications architect, I partner with organizations and individual leaders to transform their leadership presence, including the way they express themselves. So, if your goal is to amplify your authentic voice, influence others, and lead with confidence, join me from October 28th to November 11th for our Communicate with Confidence online course. To all the Michaels, it's possible to overcome fear, step fully into your role, and lead with confidence.
During our 3 weeks course, I gained a lot of knowledge and insight on how to communicate with confidence using the different techniques and skills taught. Another thing that resonated for me is the fact that the same way singers prepare their voice, increase their lung capacity by eating healthy, doing the necessary breathing exercises, is the same way someone who is going to present should also prepare their voice. For persons who are interested in participating in this course, I say go for it, because you too will be able to find your coping skills, or how the runners and they psych up themselves when they're on the start line before they start to be focused to finish that race. You would be able to find your coping mechanism.
Daddy,
What song is Keep Your Family Close?
Fall in, fall in, fall in. Oh yeah, fall in. Lord, family. Christmas is a family. From the children to Tante, also uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Es la vibra. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. I used to be with them in the rain and get you bobbing down in the drain. And when you catch yourself on that strain, them on your back again and again. So much a man go surely climb. With them you spend so much of your time instead of getting exposed to crime. Stay home and have a family line. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to Tante, also uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Family is the first ones that you call when times get rough and you take a fall. So when things nice and your money tall, then you should link with you have a ball. Or we should put the family first. About their wins you should always boast. So when you take and your Christmas toast, just for the ones you love the most. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to Tante, also uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, everybody sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Ah, hey. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la